Hey, welcome to the session. And this evening we are going to be talking about how we can let love be our way. And it's something that we all know intuitively. This is where home is, hey? When someone says, "Who are you?" We don't point here, hey? Or we don't point even down to our guts, where our gut intuition is. We know that home is where the heart is. And yet, it's not so easy to live from the heart. It takes a foundation, a grounding. It takes courage. It takes certainty. It takes releasing fear. And it sneaks in ways that we don't expect. So when we look out into the world and we see situations where we're fearful, or we look out into the world, and this is when it gets a bit more subtle, right? Where someone might be doing us wrong in some way, or we feel we have to compete to stay ahead in some way. All of those things let us know that we're actually not living from our heart. We're living from our mind. And our mind, which is, as the yogis would say, a wonderful servant, but a really, really poor master. If our mind gets ahead of, or can get behind too, but usually ahead of our heart, what we have is this untrammeled kind of view of the world where there's these what ifs, this overthinking, and particularly the looping thoughts, the thoughts of repetitive, it's not going to be okay, it's not going to work out the way I would like. The things that my heart is asking for are too big for me. The things that my heart is saying are wonderful, are a fairy tale, are not realistic. And that's the sort of the adult maneuver, right? Where as a child we could be with the imaginings that start with the sacral, that lift all the way up, and then heart basically adds that joyful, positive energy. And we know as little people that this is the direction, right? This is the way to go. But as adults, we've been trained over and over again, that you have problems, and then you think about your problems. And if you think about your problems cleverly enough, with enough thinking, you'll find a solution. And yet all of that has separated us from our natural instincts, and our instincts are to be at rest, to be in peace, to look out into the world and see the beauty of the world rather than the problems. And when we repetitively see problems, we are missing here. And there's some recent science where the way we get pull things back together, the terminology that they use is a term called coherence. And I like the term because it describes two things coming together. And what needs to come together is this and this. And the only way we can do that is for this to actually give over control, surrender to here, allow here to lead, and then this part sees the results. So mind sees what heart has brought forward when we are coherent. And so we're going to practice being coherent by actually getting our hands on our pulse. We're going to sit here for a minute. We're going to practice a wee box breath. And I like a box breath for heart. So heart is the fourth chakra. And the box breath is an inhale, a hold, an exhale, and a hold. And we'll do a small one. We'll just do a 4 count. But what we're looking for is the sense of stability. A box is a very stable piece. So we're looking to actually bring up the earth energy. Heart energy is the element for the heart is very airy. So there's this wonderful capacity to dissipate and to disappear and to be very changeable. So for the heart to allow itself to lead, it needs the stability of the grounding. and the courage, the base that comes when we are stable. So just find your pulse somewhere on your wrist, or you might somewhere in your, or even somewhere here, wherever's easier and more natural for you. I'm going to use my wrist. And we're just going to close your eyes for a minute because we want to really tune in to the pulse. And I'm going to start calling out some timing. But what we're looking to do is to fold into the timing of the count of our own heart rhythm. And when you get underway, you'll start noticing that the heart changes depending on whether you're inhaling, holding, or exhaling or holding. So you'll be able to sense that wonderful variability that we're looking for. This is communication. So let's try it now. So you're really centered and grounded, very aware of the stability of your body in the moment, heavy in whatever you're resting on. And then in this space and time, fingers on your pulse, finding the inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, holding, 1, 2, 3, 4, exhaling, 1, 2, 3, 4, holding, 1, 2, 3, 4, inhaling, 1, 2, 3, 4, holding, 1, 2, 3, 4, exhaling, 1, 2, 3, 4, holding, 1, 2, 3, 4. And what you might find as you're working now into your own rhythm of the square is that actually tracing a square in your mind's eye can also help establish that pattern of stability. So with the inhale, if you trace along the top of the square, and then as you hold, trace down one side, then when you exhale, trace along the bottom of the square, and then the final hold, you trace up to the beginning of the square again. And in this way, you've got many things for mind to consider. This is where it's quite helpful. We like mind to be busy so that we can actually then, in the stillness of that mind being focused on some work, we can start really getting in tune with the messages of body. And we're looking for releasing. We're looking for a real connection to that heart energy. At a mechanical level, we're feeling into the physical of this, but that is the pathway. And keep the breath, that wonderful box breath, the square breath going, but finding the count that's based on your own heart rhythm. And noticing how the rhythm changes. And you might notice it getting louder on the final hold. You might notice it speeding up on the inhale and slowing down for the exhale. So just really listen to what the heart would like to say. And into this space, still holding the rhythm of the breath if you can, we just want to understand where Haniel comes into this. And Haniel is the agent, the angel for love, beauty, joy. She associated with Venus and the beauty way as well as the way of love. So her colorways are the wonderful green, and I've got a beautiful piece of Panamu here. And the Panamu is that deep green of living things, and it's the basis for our heart energy. So the green energy of our heart is where we are enjoying how our heart sings between people we're comfortable and happy with. So this is the green that sings between friends and family, the green that sings between partners, between husband and wife, between mother and child, father and child, all of those relationships has that green energy. And it's the energy where it's a social, it's a communication. There's this lovely give and take, very natural, very easy. When we can really settle into the stability of our personal heart energy, our green, the green ray that Haniel brings us, we then open up our possibility of finding her beautiful pink ray. And there's a lovely piece, just a lovely little pink rose heart. And this color comes when in the heart chakra, at the base of the heart, there is the deep rose red that comes from the root chakra. So this is why we brought the box breath in for our heart. We're looking for the stability so that the rose can blossom. And that's what we need to find. So the green is a wonderful place to start, to be loving with those around you, even when they're a bit annoying. So when they're a bit annoying, we drop a little bit again into our thinking. And then as we can release the thinking, come back to coherence, our heart reminds us just how much we love these people, how much joy we have with them, reminds us that the joy we have is in us, ready to be released. So those personal relationships gives us just this magic practice. Let love be my way every day. You know, your people you're with are inherently annoying. That's their job. That's their job, so that we can be reminded to let love be our way. That's their job. So they can help us each time come back to that love and the energy of the love. As we remember the stability, we're looking for the blossoming. And this is not the final blossom for the heart chakra. We'll come to that later. And another angel will bring that in. This is, if you can imagine a lotus, this is the bud of the lotus. So if you imagine a pond, the green is the wonderful leaves that give stability to the lotus, that then has the strength planted in the mud of the pond to reach up this beautiful flower. And this is that bud, the tip that's just starting to show through of that beautiful pink color, that when we work more deeply, brightens to a very bright magenta, which is a color of the rainbow that's not, it's not within our visible experience of the rainbow, it's between red and violet, between the rainbows. So tonight we want to work with Haniel to really establish the foundation of our green energy and to feel into our pink energy. And to do that, we're going to find her in a very tiny room inside the heart chakra. And it's a beautiful yogic quote or saying that this is where Atman lives. This is where our soul self, we might say. We might say this is where our divine spark lives, inside the heart chakra. But it's not only inside the heart chakra, we actually have to go deeper than that. And so tonight we're going to just, with Haniel's help, go deep into that heart space and allow her to guide us into that tiny little room where we'll find the shrine with the lotus. So just take again time to close your eyes. And we're looking again to get very, very stable in whichever seating position, or even lying. You're welcome to be lying for this. But whatever surface you're on, that you're steady, you're grounded, you're very aware of any parts of you that are touching the surface. And that you put all of your weight and transfer it down into the grounded parts of you, so that the parts of you that are uplifting are able to be light and lifted and easy to free away from the base. So we find that lifted height. If we're lying down, the front of the body is lifting away from that base surface. If you're sitting, just feel the crown of the head just lifting away from where you're seating. Shoulders releasing. And just gently press your sternum, that heart space, just slightly up and forward, just a little. Breathing. Finding that box breath again and finding your pulse point. And you might be far enough in now that you can just feel the echo of the heart for yourself. If not, take a pulse point. I'm going to use again my wrist. I'm going to ground myself there. And then the inhale is 1, 2, 3, 4. The hold is 1, 2, 3, 4. The exhale is 1, 2, 3, 4. And the final hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. So keep going now with your own rhythm, where you allow mind to really focus on this, even as you can hear my words still surrounding and around you and connecting you to the energy of Haniel. So there is a vast sense of love pouring towards us now. This divine space of loving energy is more than anything we can contemplate. She opens up that aspect of the divine regard for us, loving towards us, support for us, and absolute respect for all of our free will choices at the heart of every loving touch, that it is always through our choice. So now as we bring Haniel into this space, just feel, even as you're following your breath, but the breath now, even you know the breath is coming in through your nose, but it feels almost as if the breath now is actually entering directly into that space just at the center of your chest. You're more aware of that pressure there, of the inhale into the center of the chest. And then the holding. And the exhale, while the center of the chest just feels softer and more open. And then the hold, where the hold helps you see the space that is there. Keep flowing now, this breath, deeply into the space here at Anahata, the heart chakra. And just allow the space to become more and more in your perception. This is the space that we're growing, the space that we are now fully inside. So we are now fully inhabiting the space here at Anahata. It is all of our perception. And you might notice as you dive deeper and deeper how you feel a warmth at the center of your chest. You might notice that you're feeling a warmth in your pulse or your circulation. Keep diving deeper into the breath, almost as if it is going directly into the center of your chest. And this is where the prana is entering in, with Haniel's help, directing the prana directly here to Anahata, the heart chakra. And notice now how the space that you're here inside is beautifully lit up. And it's not a small space. In fact, you can sense that the space is getting bigger with all of your focus and your awareness and the breath and the prana. that the space is getting clearer and brighter and more spacious. And yet something calls you deeper into the space. A very, very small part of the heart space catches your eye. It's tiny. Almost without this intense focus that you're bringing to bear, you would never notice it. And yet suddenly, now that you've seen it, you can't miss it. It's unmistakably brighter than the rest. And suddenly you notice that all of your awareness now can only see this tiny space. With every breath, you get closer and closer, and you see and feel a lotus blossoming on a shrine. And the lotus has this beautiful, bright, illuminated light. Every part of it is lit up, and it is what has drawn your attention. And as you breathe, and as you focus, it's almost as if you could now dive headfirst into this lotus, this place that you have yearned to go, this place that you have always known was in you, this space that you can now be, where you are united and whole. Keep breathing here and just let your eyes, and underneath your closed eyes, just looking up underneath your closed eyes towards Ajna Chakra, the third eye. And just now in the silence that's here, inside the lotus, just fill your heart with the sounds that you hear and all that you can perceive through your inner eye. Notice now the wonderful upwelling of the heart space, how you are able now to send out the love energy that is coming to you in waves of divine abundance. The loving space that is opening, and the more you open it, the more it opens, and the more that you send out, the more that comes. So just feel this wonderful flowing, bright light, joyous, joyful, sweet, gentle, kind, light energy being through all of you now. Notice how every part of you is now filled with this energy. All of you, all aspects of your life now full of this light, bright, easy, so easy this place when love is our way. And keep breathing. And just notice still the illumination that you see when you look with your inner eye, the brightness that is here. And just gently now, as your next exhale comes, just allow yourself to come back into the wider part of Anahata, your heart chakra. Just again be in that space and be very clear about where this is, so that you can come back here anytime you choose. This is your space and your connection with Haniel. And just take a moment to thank her for her loving guidance, for her connection that allowed the unique strands of divine love that's destined for you to come to you. For her gifting of her energy, her essence, her gifting of her focus and her guidance. Just thank her for that special, celebrated, gracious energy that she has brought to this. And just gently now, allowing yourself to come back into your own sense of self. Just rub your hands together and take a moment, just gently place your warm hands over your eyes. And just in your own time, just let your eyes open behind your hands. Just gently come back into the room in your own way. And thank you for the energy that you have each brought to this session. Thank you for your focus. And just allow this energy now to come and be with you for days and weeks ahead. This is your space, your loving space. Let love be your way. And so it is.